Have you ever been sitting with a group of people when everyone suddenly starts talking about a game, a player, or a team, and you have absolutely no idea what's going on? They're excited, they're arguing, they're celebrating, and you're just sitting there thinking, why do people care this much? For some people, sports feel almost like a religion. For others, it's just a ball moving from one side of a field to the other. And here's the strange part. Psychologists have discovered that people who don't care about sports often think about the world very differently than those who do. It's not because they're smarter. It's not because they're boring. And it's definitely not because something is wrong with them. In fact, the reason might reveal something surprising about how your brain works. And one of the biggest reasons has almost nothing to do with sports at all. Humans are tribal creatures. For thousands of years, survival depended on being part of a group. If your tribe accepted you, you survived. If they rejected you, life became much harder. Even though we no longer live in tribes, our brains still crave belonging. Sports create an instant tribe. Think about it. A stranger wearing your team's jersey instantly feels familiar. People you've never met suddenly feel like family. You celebrate together. You suffer together. You win together. Sports give people a powerful sense of identity. But people who don't care about sports often get that feeling somewhere else. Maybe through music, maybe through books, maybe through gaming, maybe through business, maybe through art. Their brain isn't rejecting belonging, it's simply finding it somewhere different. Here's something interesting. Many people who don't enjoy watching sports actually enjoy doing things. Instead of watching someone else play football for 3 hours, they'd rather go to the gym, learn a skill, build something, travel somewhere, or work on a personal project. Their brain gets more satisfaction from participating than observing. Imagine two people on a Saturday afternoon. One person spends 3 hours watching a match. The other spends 3 hours learning guitar. Neither choice is better. They're simply rewarding different parts of the brain. One enjoys shared experience. The other enjoys personal progress. Now, here's a question. Why do people feel genuinely happy when their team wins and genuinely upset when their team loses? After all, they weren't actually on the field. Yet the emotions are real. That's because our brains are surprisingly good at attaching our identity to things. When a team becomes part of someone's identity, the team's success can feel like personal success. But people who don't care about sports often struggle to make that emotional connection. Their brain sees the event differently. Instead of thinking, "We won," they think, "That team won." It's a tiny difference, but it completely changes the emotional experience. Now here's where things get really interesting. Many non-sports fans don't automatically get excited by competition alone. They usually need a reason, a story, a purpose, a bigger meaning. For example, someone may not care about a championship game, but they might become fascinated by the story of an underdog athlete overcoming impossible odds. Suddenly, it's no longer about sports. It's about resilience, determination, human psychology. The competition itself isn't enough. The story behind it is. And this pattern often appears in other areas of life too. They're naturally drawn toward meaning over spectacle. Researchers have found that people naturally pay attention to different things. Some people are highly interested in social competition. Who is winning? Who is losing? Who is the best? Others are more interested in ideas, patterns, concepts, systems, and questions. Neither is superior. They're simply different forms of curiosity. Imagine two people walking into a room. One notices the people. The other notices how the room is designed. Same room, different focus. The same thing happens with sports. While one person is fascinated by the competition, another person's attention naturally drifts elsewhere. Ironically, people who don't care about sports often feel left out, especially during school, college, work events, or family gatherings. Everyone seems to understand something they don't. But here's what many people don't realize. The ability to resist social pressure is actually rare. When millions of people become interested in the same thing, it takes a certain level of independence to say, "That's just not for me." Not because you're trying to be different, but because you're being honest. And authenticity is surprisingly uncommon. Many people pretend to enjoy things simply because everyone else does. People who genuinely don't care about sports usually aren't doing that. They're following their own interests instead. But perhaps the biggest reason some people don't obsess over sports is this. Their brain is constantly searching for stimulation somewhere else. Sports compete for attention, and attention is limited. If someone is obsessed with psychology, business, technology, history, music, movies, or building their future, sports simply lose the competition. It's not that sports aren't interesting. It's that something else feels more interesting. Your attention goes wherever your curiosity lives, and curiosity is different for everyone. So if you've ever felt strange because you don't care about sports, you're not alone. It doesn't mean you're antisocial. It doesn't mean you're boring. And it definitely doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It may simply mean your brain finds excitement, meaning, and identity in different places. Because at the end of the day, the world isn't divided into sports fans and non-sports fans. It's divided into people chasing what fascinates them. And the most interesting thing about human psychology is that what fascinates one person can seem completely invisible to someone else. So here's a question. What's the one thing you could talk about for hours that most people around you don't care about at all? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy simple psychology explained in a way anyone can understand, subscribe for more videos like this. See you in the next one.